Good evening, everybody. Meteorologist Alex Carter with you in the Fox 54 Digital Weather Center. We are tracking some heavy storms tonight. A very stormy pattern, as we were talking about. Rain chances were going to be increasing, and that is the case tonight. About to pop myself up there on the camera, and there we are. So good evening, and thanks for joining us for your storm coverage tonight. Most of these storms don't have severe thunderstorm warnings with them, but if you're just joining us, make sure to put in the comments where you're listening from. We can help you out, kind of point to where the rain is at tonight, where it's moving, how long it's going to last, and more on the way tomorrow. A lot of this is much needed, especially for areas north of I-20 where abnormally dry. We really need the rain, and it looks like that is coming in for much of the area. So monitoring those comments, and we'll continue to keep a track of those, so when you ever have a question, feel free. I can actually see those here in our digital center, and so we're able to track those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the radar for a second. Now, obviously, that's the big storyline right now. You see it across much of the area. Heavy storms that are ongoing for much of the CSRA. Let's go ahead and zoom in on some of these, and I'm going to go ahead and stop the 30-minute time lapse and get right to it. Look at the amount of lightning. All these storms have tons of electricity to them tonight. And we still don't have severe thunderstorm warnings, but that doesn't mean that these storms are not very heavy and rather strong. So I'm going to turn off the lightning here. And look at this. Anywhere across the CSRA, especially Barnwell County right now, the entire county is almost covered head to toe in rain. And some of that is happening right now in Barnwell and Snelling, some of the heavier pockets closer to Savannah Riverside. That's where some of that is heading as well. And once again, seeing some of that heavier storm activity tonight, actually. And just got a really good photo from meteorologist Melinda Ball from SRP Park as that storm is inching closer to North Augusta. This cell is near New Ellington. It's near Aiken, Williston, Barnwell, Blackville. So, yeah, just got that photo. I'll be sharing that tonight on Fox 54. You'll be able to see that photo really well in the distance. So there's this heavy storm in Barnwell. This is right on 278 and 78. So Williston, Blackville, Denmark, Bamberg, down towards Klein. And then in Bamberg County, Olar, and then Ulmer in far northern Allendale County. That's where the heavy storms are at in those locations. Let's go ahead and move it to Aiken. And on the north side of town, we're getting some heavy rain. And let's check out the lightning here. Most of the lightning's north of I-20, but that doesn't mean that it can't move south of I-20. It's just that's where most of the placement's at for right now. That is moving right near Fox Creek High School between Trenton and Murphy's Estates area. So that is on exit 5 or approaching it here very shortly. And a lot of this rain has built back up to the north, McCormick, Lincolnton, Modoc. So all this is right near the lake, and we're seeing some lightning strikes all across Clarks Hill Lake right now. So anybody who's on the lake needs to be getting off the water because, shutting down shop for the night, if you will, because not only is it getting to sunset, but we do have some nasty storms at the sunset time frame. Let's move it a little further to the west, and we have a storm right now. Augusta's has been in a force field. There's not been a lot of rain near the area of Martinez, Evans, Grovetown, North Augusta yet. Now, that's going to be changing. I have no doubts about that. But still, you can see it here over the past, let's say, hour. Look at this time lapse. Augusta just barely seeing anything. Barely. North Augusta and downtown got a brief shower. That's about it. And there's not been much since then. But the heaviest storm is on Highway 1, and that's going near Keysville, Blythe, Hepzibah. You're just to the east of this. But if you're on 88 going down towards Blythe, Bath, Keysville, Dyes Crossroad, Noah, and Stellaville, these are spots that are getting a heavy thunderstorm on top of Waynesboro and now Jenkins County right over Millen. So we have seen some heavy rain today, much needed, and it's going to continue to pile up. Now, the areas that are actually abnormally dry, let me go ahead and point you to those, are areas such as Evans, Martinez, most of Columbia, McDuffie, and Warren counties. That's actually where we need the rain, and there is none right now. All this is going to spread west through the night, though, so you can see it there in the drought monitor update. Areas that really do need the rain, are going to have multiple chances at it in the next 5 to 7 days. Really an active pattern. It's going to bode well for anything that we're looking at when it comes to getting out of that abnormally dry pattern. I'm going to look at some of these comments here. And let's see. There we go. Amy, thank you for that. Patricia, good evening. Nora, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Nora, are we expecting training rain this weekend? You know, that's something that we are keeping our eyes on, Nora. We'll answer that coming up, especially. I'll get back to that question as we start to preview some of those cooler temperatures. It is going to be brought on not only by the rain, but actually a cooler air mass. So that's a lot coming up as well. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. Patricia, Norwood, Georgia, right, so you're in far western Warren County. It's going to be a little bit later for you tonight. It could be as late as 10 o'clock before you see a chance of rain. Right now, I do think you have a good chance of seeing it. Amy and Evans area, I do think you'll see a good chance of rain tonight. All of this is spreading to the west, and you'll see that here on the radar as I'm going to pull that back up. We'll pull up the overall trend here. So there's the last 30 minutes. Notice how the walls are caving in if you're in Evans and Martinez. And we're tracking that outside of Fox 54 Studios right now. These storms up near Edgefield County are making a beeline for Evans at the moment. So if you're in Evans and you got some errands to run over the next couple of hours, probably want to wrap it up here in the next 30 minutes if you don't want to run into that rain and some thunder and lightning. Pretty wet picture tonight across the CSRA. Same could be said for Augusta. These are barreling right down Exit 5, right down I-20, and pushing towards North Augusta and Augusta. So the Green Jackets game, yeah, that's going to be an issue because those storms are making a beeline right for North Augusta at this hour. And if we pull up the North Augusta tower cam, there it is. There's your heavy storm. And I wish I could adjust it from here, but you'd actually see that shelf cloud looking off towards the east. So very wicked views. Actually, I'm going to go and make sure that we can adjust that tower cam real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, so don't go anywhere. So if you stayed with us, there's your view from North Augusta, and you can clearly see that shelf cloud in the distance as that storm is pushing into North Augusta. And this is right off of Exit 5, so we're very close to the storm itself that's pushing in. Downtown going to bring you a similar view, looking more so east-southeast there. And I-20 is probably going to bring one of the better views that we'll see all night as these storms are coming right into the camera. There it is. So heavy storms, and yes, in Graniteville that is the case. Tracking those as well. There we go. Good evening. Yep, there we go. Oh, Crystal. Yep, there we go. Good evening, Crystal. And yes, indeed, we are expecting some storms in Appling tonight. Let's go ahead and zoom in on some of those here. The storms in Appling are going to be noisy. We might have a severe thunderstorm warning. I don't see that happening right now, but all these storms are kind of congealing into a line very similar to what we saw last week. And so if you're on Highway 221, Appling, you're on that same roadway, but just a little bit further up the highway in Parksville and Clarks Hill and Modoc, that's where they're getting the same thunderstorm. So heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, and you'll see some gusty winds with that. I'm not anticipating anything severe at this time. We'll let you know if that changes. But these storms right on top of the north side of Aiken, it's going to be rolling. This section right here is anywhere from 221 to Augusta-Aiken Highway. You can actually paint it right here with these lines. It's that section, and this is the one that's going to impact Augusta, Grovetown, Evans, Martinez, up towards Exit 5, North Augusta, Belvedere, Clearwater, Grovetown, anywhere near Gracewood and Fort Gordon. These are all spots that we're expecting that to take place. And to the south, you see some of that residual rain in Jefferson and Emmanuel counties. That's where we had some nasty weather earlier. Had a couple viewers send in some photo and video of that, so we'll try to share that coming up as well. But Waynesboro, most of the rain settling down for now, but what's headed your way is that storm in Barnwell that is just dropping tons of rain. Bamberg, you're starting to quiet down for the rest of the evening, so hopefully as that storm moves a little bit further west, that's going to be the case, and you'll be quieting down for the night. Lots of us getting a much-needed rain, and, we talk about it a lot this time of year. June, July, August. If you go to WFXG.com and look up the rainfall roundup, you'll actually see our discussion about that in that nice web article talking about how we received 30% of our annual rainfall in June, July, and August alone. And so when you factor that in, you really need the rain, simply put. So you really need the rain that time of year. Okay, so all these heavy thunderstorms are going to continue, and the rainfall rates are rather impressive with this, might I add. Some of these, I'm going to go ahead and look into that. Yeah, look at that. And this is a section of the storm that is right near Savannah River site. Look at that dark red. Rainfall rates up to 4 inches an hour. Look at that, 6 inches an hour. And here's the deal with that. The reason why it's popping up so big is I have more than one radar site on it. Now let's get the more realistic picture. This is dropping rainfall at about 2 to 3 inches an hour. So that's saying if that storm stayed stationary over your house and that particular section of the storm stayed over you for about an hour, it would drop 2 to 3 inches of rain in just 60 minutes time. So again, heavy rainfall with these and lots of lightning, but the wind gust threat is a little bit lower tonight, and that's because of the speed of these storms as they're pushing to the west-southwest tonight. If you're in Rennes, you're about to get some of that heavy rain too. This storm has been slowly but surely crawling to you over the past little bit. See how it's just slowly expanding, get a little bit further back there. That's what's happening down towards northern Jefferson County. Actually, we've seen already a lot of rain tonight. So the main storm line is right here, and it's anywhere between Highway 221 and Augusta-Aiken Highway, running from Augusta to Aiken. Aptly named, right? So there it is, and lots of lightning with those storms. SRP Park going to be a close call with some lightning and rain delays. As we were talking about, we have about a 30 to 40% chance of a shower over one particular location tonight, but the broad rain chances are very much higher. That's living up to the billing tonight. And hopefully some areas in Columbia County will get some much-needed rain, and we can get some much-needed rain in McDuffie County, Warren County, Wilkes County, Tolliver. Areas on the South Carolina side of the river that are north of I-20 are getting that tonight, but that has not been the case for everybody. Let's see. Good to hear, Jenny. Good to hear that nothing's too wild in terms of the rain chances and what you're seeing out there. Nora, what time for Augusta? This is going to be here in just about the next, I'd say, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Depends on what side of town you live on. So if you live anywhere near Riverwatch Parkway, closer to Fury's Ferry, Washington Road, National Hills area, it's going to be here closer to about 8:30 to 8:35. I think it'll be on the south side of Augusta closer to 8:45 to 8:50 tonight. But these storms have a decent motion to them to the south and west, and gaining a little forward momentum. And we've seen that throughout the course of the evening. They've moved a little bit faster over the past, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes. Let's see. And any more comments, feel free to let us know. I'm more than happy to answer those, of course. And going to be tracking some of these as well. Let's go ahead and click on this. And I want to view your comments on the other Facebook page as well. So we've got multiple comments coming in. And let's see here. There we go. All right. Nothing yet there. Okay. Nothing yet there. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that report. Plenty of rain in Waynesboro, most certainly. Louis, thank you for that. Good evening. Exit 22 is dark with clouds. That matches up with definitely what we're seeing, especially on the South Carolina side of things right now. North Augusta just starting to thunder off of exit 5. Mary Beasley, good evening. I know you saw some rain earlier, at least I hope so. Be very crazy if you didn't with what I was seeing on radar near Avra, Georgia. Patricia, good evening. Good to hear from you as always. So, yeah, if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at your comments. That's the best way to get in touch with you guys as we track these storms. And if you're just now tuning in, this is an edition of Weather Aware Live. So Weather Aware Live is something we're doing in our new Fox 54 digital studio. Okay, so it's more interactive weather. We don't want to do weather all the time where it's one size fits all. That works in the spring, it works in the fall sometimes when we have some dry stretches, but it doesn't necessarily always work in this case, because, sometimes thunderstorms are happening in one part of the area, but they're not in the next. And so we can focus on individual areas for longer periods of time, and that's what weather coverage is all about. We want to give you the best that you can get. So if you haven't liked this Facebook page yet, please do. Fox 54 or my Facebook page, Meteorologist Alex Carter. Tell a friend about it. We're going to do these about twice a week unless weather permits, and we do more of them throughout the duration of the work weeks. Okay, so make sure to tune in. We'll keep you posted and give you live updates, and we'll also preview more significant or impactful weather events leading up to it. So in the event that we had another winter storm, another tropical system, severe weather, these are all things that we will be coming with you live with on Weather Aware Live. So you don't want to miss that. And, of course, noisy nights like tonight, we can talk about it as well. So if you're just joining us, we've been going on a radar tour across much of the CSRA. We're about to pivot for a second, and we're going to go to the longer-term forecast because we have cooler temperatures, massively cooler temperatures on the way. That's what's coming up in the days ahead. So let me preview this by saying, all right, we're going to have more heat and more storms the rest of the week. So I'm going to let's go over Wednesday first and kind of take this in chronological orders. We'll be quick before we get back to these storms. Wednesday is going to be hot. We're going to start out with partly cloudy skies, all the debris clouds left over from tonight's storms. They'll be with us in the overnight. Could even see some patches of dense fog out there. And then by Wednesday, we'll start out with partly cloudy skies, becoming mostly sunny, and then we go right back into the same pattern. Storms will start to form early in the afternoon. I actually think we get an earlier start to the storms tomorrow than we did today, and those will be hit or miss through the afternoon and through the evening. So let's break it down for your Wednesday. This is at noon. Not a whole lot. Still a good chunk of sunshine out there, but watch quickly. Those storms are developing, and it's going to be more like popcorn in a microwave. You might hear me use that multiple times on the air sometimes. That's because it's very accurate. These storms are not being pushed one way or the other. The storms this weekend will, but not these. So as a result, we're going to have hit or miss heavy downpours, frequent lightning, very similar to what we're seeing tonight. And some of that activity could linger as late as maybe 10 to 11 o'clock at night. Most of us will dry out past sunset like we typically do. Now, as for Thursday, Thursday's a little bit of a different story. We'll see slightly less coverage, I think, but it's not going to be by much. We'll still see some pop-up thunderstorms on Thursday with high heat, highs in the mid to upper 90s, more highs in the mid-90s on Friday, and then you see that massive pivot into the weekend. Higher rain chances, cooler temperatures. We see cooler temperatures this time of year, and we think, oh, it's just because of the rain. Actually, this time it's a double whammy, and it's not severe weather. I'm not anticipating anything severe. This is not one of those setups. It's the summertime. There's little to no wind shear out there. But this weekend, look at these temperatures, and this is our in-house model and what it's providing you. Let's go ahead and show you that here. This is for Saturday and Sunday, okay? So Saturday and Sunday, these are the highs. Sunday, I don't think it's going to get to the upper 70s. I still think we're going to get to 80, barring this front completely stalls over the area and we don't see hardly a wink of sunshine through the day on Sunday. Our models tend to overestimate what the wedge can do sometimes, at least early on in the forecast process. And we're still, about 5 days, 6 days out from this. So take that for a grain of salt. But the bottom line is it's going to be way cooler. We'll have some random days of temperatures in the 80s, maybe upper 70s if you see a whole lot of rain. So we'll take this and run with it. If you like the cooler weather, this is for you. What's stirring this up? You might be wondering, well, how's a cold front making it this far, this early into the summer season? You typically never see this in the month of July. It's very rare. But here it is. It's a big dome of high pressure that's to the north, and it's near the Great Lakes, and it's so strong. Central pressure is about 1,012.5 millibars. We measure pressure in millibars. The further up you go, the higher the pressure, the stronger it is. So the further away from 1,012 you get, the stronger the high. That's probably going to be about 1,030, 1,032 millibar high. That's 20 above normal. That's what's going to get that front down there in a big way. I mean, we're talking a pretty good chunk of rain. The cooler air mass will sink below the CSRA is what we're anticipating at this time, and that's what's going to give us upper 70s to mid 80s. Friday will still be hot. The weekend is what brings the cooler weather, so Saturday and Sunday, and you see that here in the 7-day forecast with those rain chances. 94 to 96 degrees tomorrow, Thursday, 95 on Friday, and then 4 straight days, if we're lucky. We'll have to see about early next week, but it does look like the 80s could be back by an extended stay, if you will, this weekend and early next week. So that would be great. Those cooler temperatures are a big reprieve, that's for sure. Looking at y'all's comments now. And Johnny, you could easily get more tonight. It's actually on your doorstep. It's going to be crossing the river here pretty shortly. So if you're still tuning in, Johnny, sorry about that. Yes, that is on the way. More rain is on the way, and a lot of this is going to dissipate, past about 10 to 11, but not before it moves a little further west tonight. So that's why I think Waynesboro still has a chance of some showers. But yes, it's going to be a wet and cooler weekend. I'm hesitant to tell you to cancel your plans, but just bank on some periods of wet weather, both on Saturday and Sunday. You don't want to be caught in the middle of all that, that's for sure. It's going to be a messy weekend at times, I can tell you that much. And, again, we'll be monitoring that as we head through the rest of the week. Let's see there. All right. And there we go. Let's see. All right, there we go. Getting windy and dark in Evans. Thank you, Amy. And Jadia, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. It's getting pretty dark where you live, closer to Edgefield. Okay, thanks for that report. Chloe, for Exit 5 in North Augusta. Well, let's go ahead and tune in there now. And if you're just joining us, we just got done with the forecast recap, talking about kind of what's ahead later on into the weekend. If you're on Exit 5, obviously that's over you now. North Augusta, and here we go, right over SRP Park is where that's headed for. So if you're at SRP Park, make sure to get inside. We're actually tracking that here on Weather Aware Live tonight on the Fox 54 Digital Weather Center. But those storms are moving right over the city of North Augusta. Clearwater, Beach Island. If you're in the Augusta Metro, you are about to get that storm very quickly. Grovetown, some of that rain is moving right over you. And Harlem, I have a viewer here from Harlem who frequently comments. Let's see. Where is this gentleman at? Maybe he is tuning in. Maybe he's not. Well, we'll have to see about that. But he calls it the shadow in Harlem, and it's just where no rain happens, and it's just a little bit of a microclimate deal where some of that rain just tends to miss Harlem at times. Right now, that is not looking to be the case, but it is coming in from the east, like we've talked about. And usually when it's coming in from the west, we've noticed a little bit of a behavior with those heavy storms. But right over 278, Brasilia, Fort Gordon, you're now to the west of to the east of this. Deering, Boneville, Thompson, be on the lookout. That storm is headed in your direction. Appling, some of those storms are moving in your direction, but you might get split. This cell in Lincolnton and this cell in Clarks Hill, that's kind of splitting 221 right now. And let's see. And look at this. I mean, just continued heavy rain in Barnwell. Looking at this, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and look at the rainfall that we have seen. And let's see, this is in just the past. Let's do the past 3 hours. And some places have seen up to an inch to an inch and a half in Barnwell County. Right there on, I believe it's State Road 3 and 64. Yep, 3 and 64. Barnwell, Snelling, and over to Savannah Riverside. That's where we've seen a whole lot of rain in a short period of time. Waynesboro, more looks to be on the way. We got some of that moving in from the north and east right now. Those cells are very slow crawlers, but they're just continuing to have that lifespan, if you will. And we're seeing more of this that's moving right into the Augusta metro right now. So, again, if you're joining us, tracking these storms with lots of lightning, heavy rain. Fortunately, nothing severe tonight, at least not yet. They're moving at too fast of a rate of speed for them to become severe to that extent. Patricia, I would say around 11 to 11:30 when that last chance of rain moves over you. Kimberly, what are you seeing in Edgefield? Good evening. Always good to hear from you as well. And if you're joining us tonight, we're on Weather Aware Live, so we're just more interactive weather. We get to track storms and answer your comments and concerns and questions about what's headed our way and also what's happening at the current time. And tonight we're tracking lots of storms. We're also tracking what's ahead into the weekend. And we've also got another edition of Weather Music Miss coming up in the days ahead as well, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be very cool to see that. But it is a heavy night of storms, that's for sure. And let's see if we can add something real quick. There we go. Okay, so we're tracking storms and things like that tonight. Obviously, a pretty busy night on Doppler radar. So if you're just joining us, good evening. These storms are going to keep going for the next few hours. I think 11 to 11:30 is when this will get closer to subsiding area-wide tonight. But first, it will be making impacts to the Augusta metro. Barnwell, you're seeing the worst of it right now, that's for sure. And if you're just joining us, let us know where you're listening from. Any questions you have about the forecast, we'd love to help you out and answer those tonight. Let's see. And looks like we got a pretty good many of you in here. At least we have in the past, and everybody's getting in and out. That's kind of the convenience of this Facebook Live thing, right? Is you get what you need, then you can pop back out, and it's pretty convenient. Pop a comment, we answer it, and you move forward. Or you can just stick around for the entire storm coverage. We'd love you to do that as well. Tonight, again, we're tracking these storms, but first I wanted to show you guys something real quick. If you don't know about Weather Music Myths, hopefully this can help you out. We take songs that mention music, or mention weather, and we break down the science behind them. Sometimes it's just a metaphor that we can relate to the current forecast pattern. Anyway, we like to have fun with weather and combine it with music, of course. Here's a little bit of an intro to that, and if you are curious about that, here is
weather and music. Lots of times they go together.
Music meteorology is everywhere. Music and science combined with weather. We explain the science behind the song.
It's air you can wear.
And so that's Weather Music Myths. And so if you have any song suggestions that mention weather, reference weather, anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments. We'd love to answer those and do those in another edition of Weather Music Myths. We did some Kenny Chesney last week. This week, we've actually got a song by Queen. It's a song that's very popular. I'm not going to give it away just yet, but you'll want to stay tuned for that as well. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and show you this. And all these thunderstorms again tonight are relatively strong, just producing heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. And I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the storm motion so it doesn't jump back and forth at us. Augusta's getting some rain now downtown, and let's go ahead and tune in on the tower camera here. Yep, look at that. Heavy deluge right over downtown Augusta. That is causing a rain delay for sure, and even a lightning delay over at SRP Park for the Augusta Green Jackets. Let's go to North Augusta here, and more of the same. It's been pretty wet there over the past 15, 30 minutes. And there's the view from I-20 exit 195. Very curious to see if we can get a time lapse from there. Let's try that, and you can actually see that storm moving into the downtown area and Augusta Metro. Look at that. Yep, that is a wicked view of that storm. Wow, a very impressive shelf cloud view. And look at that wall of heavy rain that's just moving right over parts of North Augusta right now. So another pretty impressive view, I will say. That's for sure. So let's take it to the downtown tower cam. Yeah, look at that. Just heavy rain over the past 5 minutes there in downtown Augusta. So lots of rain tracking and lots of lightning, storms moving through. No severe thunderstorm warnings right now, although if I were to say there was a storm that will get severe warned, it is easily this heavy complex right here. I mean, look at this. Tremendous rainfall that is continuously ongoing along State Road 64 right now in Barnwell County. So this takes you from Barnwell, the city, all the way to Savannah Riverside and State Road 125, and that is a blanket of deluge, torrential, monsoon rain, whatever you want to call it. Some people call it a frog strangler. Some people call it a gully washer. Whatever it might be, that's the kind of rain we got right now. And over the Augusta Metro, seeing some of those storms as well. Right over downtown and Beach Island, North Augusta, South Augusta, getting in on some of the rain at this hour. And you see that there. Let's see, Tubman Home Road, Deansbridge Road, anywhere along that area is getting the worst of it right now. And unfortunately, the Green Jackets are getting a delay tonight. That is for certain. And right over SRP Park, see where some of that lightning's at. And fortunately, nothing right in the general area of the stadium. These storms have weakened a little bit. Hopefully, they will be able to resume here very shortly if they can get some of this to split. I think that'll be the case tonight. Let's go ahead and go up to Lincolnton. This is another hot spot for storms right now. Heavy thunderstorm in Lincoln County. This is near the Chenault community, Curry Hill, and along 79 and 43 at this hour. So if you are in the Lincolnton area, heavy thunder and lightning, that's the big impact with this storm. Some gusty winds can't be ruled out as well, but this is slowly traveling west at maybe 10 to 15 miles an hour. Look at that. Not much movement to it. If you're in Tignal, if you're in Rail, if you're in Washington, that storm is headed towards you guys as well in the next little bit. You know, right now we're seeing a little bit of a split. And if you're in Evans, you're one of the few spots that hasn't seen the rain just yet. Augusta over downtown starting to get some of those heavy showers. We just saw it on our tower cam. Beach Island up to North Augusta, seeing some heavy rain at this hour. And again, what takes the cake is Barnwell County at this time. So lots of heavy rain. It's going to continue. Let's show you the future cast of kind of how this transpires over the next few hours. Look how all of it just slowly pivots to the west. And it's just going to continue. So if you're in Gibson, Warrenton, or Norwood in Warren County, Thompson, Louisville, Swainsboro, Wadley, Bartow, Gibson again, Edge Hill, Mayfield, Crawfordville. These are all spots that could easily see more rain tonight. You're not done with it just yet. We've got that second round that's moving in from the east at the moment. We get to about 11 to 11:30, and a lot of this is stuck in our northwestern counties. It's exiting by midnight, and then mostly past midnight. I think we're going to quiet down a good bit, but the clouds will be left over. So I hope that helps you out with your plans tonight, and just so you know what's going on out there. Let's see. Any more comments there? Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that report. Getting very dark in Grovetown with a ton of lightning, and that matches up with the storm that we're actually seeing in that direction. Jeff, yep, you see it moving into Washington. Jeff, you're going to get, if you look eastbound, you're going to get a tremendous view of the shelf cloud and the thunderstorm rolling in. Just make sure you're inside, especially hearing that thunder coming in. But still, you're going to get a really awesome view of that thunderstorm there if you're into that sort of thing, of course. Here's that 7-day forecast. Again, we've got cooler weather on the way this weekend, but we're keeping the rain chances. So it's not cooler with sunshine and lower humidity and all that jazz. It's actually going to be a cold front that does stir up showers and storms, but a cooler round. of showers and storms, in fact. And I think that's going to be pretty good. It's going to bode well for our forecast, that's for sure. Monday and Tuesday of next week in the mid to upper 80s, hit or miss thunderstorms. That's what's moving in as well. So once again, tracking these things on Weather Aware Live tonight. So if you're just joining us and you're new to this sort of thing, Weather Aware Live is a more interactive weather segment where we stream on Facebook and YouTube, and soon we'll be able to stream on Roku and Fire Stick. So if you're joining us and you have Fire Stick's Fox 54 app or Roku's Fox 54 app, we're actually going to be able to stream breaking weather on those apps here very soon. So we're very excited to let you guys in on that. Hopefully that'll be a great tool as you're streaming weather here in the CSRA. Nicole, what time in Evans? It should be any minute now. As we were talking about just a moment ago, these storms kind of forming a perimeter around parts of Columbia County. Look at that. I mean, you would think it's definitely raining in Evans when you look at the broad picture here on Doppler radar. Not quite. Not quite. It's getting very close, and there's a lightning strike that is right near the Bobby Jones Expressway, right near the Walton Way Exchange and the Lewiston area. So if you're near Lewiston, Roper's Crossroads, that lightning strike is nearby. Evans on the south side of town, right near Fox 54 Studios. We're now starting to see those downpours moving in. So, here we go. Some rain starting to move into Evans and Martinez areas, that's for sure. And south side of Augusta getting a really heavy downpour at this hour. And the worst of it continues to be in Barnwell County, moving into Burke County. So if you're listening to us from Girard, Alexander, Sardis, McBean, Waynesboro, here comes more heavy rain, and there's more heavy rain coming for our western counties tonight. And this is good. We need the rain. Looks like we're getting it in full, and there's more opportunities. Tomorrow, Thursday some, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So here we go, a more promising pattern that's moving in. And Nicole, to answer your question, that's not going to be bad. We're just going to see some light to moderate rain in some parts of Columbia County. A few areas will see a heavy downpour, but right now that's not trending towards Evans. And these storms are not severe, but they are strong, so they are bringing heavy rain and some frequent lightning mixed in there as well. So thank you guys for tuning in to Weather Aware Live. I'm going to leave you guys with the 7-day forecast. Again, we'll be tracking these, and in the event of a severe thunderstorm warning, we will let you know about that as well. So here it is in the next 7 days. Hot, humid, scattered storms. We're seeing it Monday and Tuesday. Check those boxes off. Wednesday through Friday, that is more of it. And then we get cooler, wet weather this weekend. So if you're looking forward to a little bit of a cool down, this is going to be your ticket right here. So enjoy that and soak it up because it won't last long. I promise you that. So there's the latest on radar. Showers and storms blanketing the CSRA at this hour. We'll have much more coverage tonight on Fox 54 News at 10. Again, if you're wanting to know what you're watching, this is indeed Weather Aware Live, and this is a segment where we just do interactive weather, live coverage of severe storms, live coverage of just any type of weather, and we give you a preview of more impactful weather events that are headed our way in the days and weeks ahead. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, we'll be live on Fox 54 News at 10 for the latest weather and news updates. Hope you join us there. And again, tonight, we'll be back on at 10 o'clock and tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Hope you join us then. Everybody have a safe night. And remember, when thunder roars, go indoors. We'll see you later. Stay safe and have a great evening.